I want to talk about the difference between empathy and being an empath.
Yes, please.
Yes. Empathy is a natural quality that we all have, and we all have the capacity to increase and develop more, like our compassion, our understanding for humanity. An empath is somebody who's highly sensitive to energies. They're sensitive to not only people and people's emotions, but the environment and certain situations.
Is a show for me and you, the one you love to listen to. And ooh, you got your friends, see it through. Seeks laughter.
Hello, Worcester. This is the Edge Show Live. Hi, friends. We are sponsored tonight by Taproot Treasures, your local spiritual shop, and more at 1200 West Boylston Street. I'm Wendy Love Edge, your host. My co-host, Angela Edge, is off tonight, but she was sure to tell me to be sure to give our disclaimer. The opinions of our guests are not necessarily those of Edge Productions. I have a special co-host tonight, Zophia Church. Welcome, Zoe.
Hi, Wendy.
I'm so glad you're here with me tonight.
Me too.
So this is season 7, episode 12. What is it like to be an empath? My guests are singer-songwriter Ari Charbonneau and healer, empath, and artist Christina, Meriah, Lucia. And you know, the Edge Show started live on the radio in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We were at a radio station at the Chancellor Hotel. It was very glamorous, but it was a tiny little room. This studio at Unity Radio, you know, community, if you have not been here, this is a beautiful, large studio, and it's Worcester's community radio station. So we started live on the radio. It was called the Wendy Love Edge Show then, and I had a wonderful co-host named Topher Kogan, who's a comedian. And, you know, really quickly, the studio just got too small for us. So we moved it to a TV studio and started just taking the audio and playing it on different radio stations around the country. But if you don't know what the show is about, the Edge Show was my brainchild because I got to thinking a lot about plant medicine and how it helped me recover health, and how plant medicine is connected to the same place in the human spirit where we find wellness and and healing and music and art. It all kind of comes together in our solar plexus, I think, like right in the middle, you know, and women's empowerment too, because women are, you know, for me anyway, when I think of women, I think of strength and creating and all of the things that these other things bring to us.
Right.
So yeah, I know you've kind of been with me since the beginning of my journey into health and wellness, from being really ill. I started speaking in different places around the country, and Zophia was with me at most of those times. What's it been like for you to kind of see this journey and this transformation?
From going to the pharmaceuticals to getting off of it and to use cannabis for your medicine.
Right.
Night and day.
Night and day, right. I agree. You know, so I think that it's a really important point of the show when we talk about the plant medicine, but the plant medicine isn't the only thing. It's kind of like the glue that brings things together. And today we're talking about being an empath. And so I have been staying while I'm here in Worcester with Zophia, and we are both empaths. So it's been very interesting. What are your thoughts about that? You know, how has it been for you, kind of with me in the house all the time? Really,
A wild ride, because you were
right.
taking on a new occupation. I mean, not a new occupation, but a new job.
Right.
Coming home with energy.
With energy, yes.
And I am an energy sponge.
That's true. Right.
And oi.
right. So I kind of came full circle in my journey. I wanted to go back to my profession and see what that was like. I had worked for 25 years as an occupational therapist before I became ill, and cannabis really saved my life. So this was kind of full circle, but it was really daunting and scary. And so it was really comforting to me to have you by my side through this journey. But because we're both empaths, we're like, this energy is kind of flying between us. And, you know, if I'm on this roller coaster trying to figure out, you know, can I work full time again? You know, how is this all gonna work? And I think you've been on the roller coaster with me.
Absolutely.
Right, right. So I think cannabis definitely helps me to take the edge off of, no pun intended, it kind of helps me to take the edge off feeling all that energy. And, you know, because I can be an energy sponge also. If someone has you know, their stomach's bothering them, my stomach will start bothering me. You know, you experienced some of that, didn't you? Right. It's been difficult sometimes. But I think that we kind of found our groove, and maybe it's a little bit better now. And when the energy starts flying, we recognize that it's happening. And so I'm super excited to chat with Christina a little later in the show, because she's going to give us some tips.
Yeah, I need some tips
about what to do when that happens and when we take on other people's energies. Well, we will be right back. And my first guest is singer-songwriter Ari Charbonneau.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Ari.
Hi. How are you feeling today? Just kidding. But,
I am feeling with my hands today.
nice. One foot in front of the other, as I always say, right?
Yes, for
One day at a
sure.
time.
So do you think being an empath affects your music in any way?
I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose so. Looking at getting inspiration from looking at different people that I met along the path when I was busking in the subways and stuff like that, seeing different people eating food out of trash cans. And another guy who was talking about, he's just a guy who carried his whole home on his back, and he was positive about just working on his feet muscles that day. Like, he was so sincere, you know, and just seeing people vibrating on all these different levels of existence, and you can just look away, but they're living in it. So it's kind of nice to have empathy to a level. If you also have to be empathetic to your own experience on top of everybody else's, you got to know where to have some boundaries. You know what I mean?
Very true.
You
So
know?
what are you going to play for us first?
Oh, so this is off the latest album, Whisper, but it's actually a track that got taken off, but it's only on the Bandcamp site. But it's called Too Late to Turn Back Now. Gotta get that burn back, baby, get that urine back. It's too late to turn back. It's too late, oh, too late to turn back now. Gotta get that burn back, baby, get that urine back. It's too late to turn back. It's all energy, it's all relevant, yeah. It's all part of you, part of me. Too late to turn back now. It's all relevant, it's all relevant, it's all energy. Too late to turn back now. Gotta get that burn back, baby, get that urine back. Like Burt Baccarat, driving a Cadillac, got that top down. Popping his own CD into the tape deck. It's all energy. It's all part of you, part of me. It's all relevant, yeah. Too late to turn back now. Like Thelma and Louise driving off a cliff holding hands. Too late to turn back now. Gotta get that burn back, baby, get that urine back. It's too late to turn back. You already watched that tape, you better be kind and rewind that. You already read that book. Recent studies have shown that if you smile too much, your face will fall off. It's too late to turn back. Oh, it's too late. It's too late to turn back now.
How lovely.
Nice.
Sometimes
What'd
it
you
is
say?
too late to turn back.
Yeah,
And what
it
do you,
is,
what
right?
can you
We've been
do?
born, haven't we?
Oh gosh.
Right.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Here
We're already here.
But,
So
yeah,
where can
appreciate
people
you.
find your music?
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. So, It's up on the Bandcamp site, aribands.bandcamp. That's all the original. That's all the outtakes. If you want to get onto Pandora, you can listen to the Whisper album. Ari Charbonneau, CH like Charlie, ARB as in boy, ONNEAU. Just look up REC, Ari Band, you'll find it.
Nice.
And then all the other, affiliates and YouTubes and weird, goofy videos we've done for the years.
Oh yeah.
I got CDs in my trunk too. If anybody wants those, it's a compact disc.
Yes.
I'm going back to vinyl, right?
For people who
It's time
don't
to go
know
back
what
to
a
vinyl.
CD is
Absolutely.
anymore.
I really want to get vinyl.
Crazy.
soon.
Ari, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
tonight
guys.
on the
Take
Edge
it
Show.
easy.
Joining me now is Christina Meriah Lucia. She is the owner of Divine Paradigm Center in Salisbury, Massachusetts. Christina is a certified vibrational master sound teacher, Reiki master, intuitive empath, and visionary artist. Welcome to the Edge Show.
It's great to be here.
I am so delighted that you're here tonight, and I hope that you can shed some light and information on being an empath. So, to start off with, what does it mean to be an empath?
I want to talk about the difference between empathy and
Mhm.
being an empath.
Yes, please.
Yes. Empathy is a natural quality that we all have, and we all have the capacity to increase and develop more, like
Mhm.
our compassion, our
Sure.
understanding for humanity. An empath is somebody who's highly sensitive to energies.
Mhm.
They're sensitive to not only people and people's emotions, but the environment and certain situations.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for making that distinction.
Yes.
I was looking around online, and I consider myself an empath, but looking at this list of qualities that empaths have, I was like, oh my gosh, that is me. And most people that I know and love, right? Because
Yes.
is it true that empaths are also kind of attracted to each other?
Yes. Like
Mhm.
attracts like.
Right.
And empaths generally have a high vibration, and you and I resonate with one another.
Mhm. Right.
So
and
we're-
Zophia and Ari
Sophia
and
and Ari
LJ.
and we're
right.
all connected.
Right, for
Yes.
sure. So this is the list that I found, and you can tell me if this is
Yes.
accurate. There's probably more, I'm sure.
Yes.
So you have a lot of empathy, right? That's the
Yes.
first thing.
A big
Um,
heart.
Right. Closeness and intimacy can overwhelm you.
Yes, at times.
Mhm. You have good intuition.
Yes.
Take comfort in nature.
Hmm. Yes.
You're agreeing
And
with all this.
and
That's good.
sensitive to nature.
Sensitive to nature.
I mean, you can pick up on the energy in plants and animals.
Mhm.
Yes, in nature.
Okay, right. You don't do well in crowded places.
No, you don't.
Right, right.
Or you have to go home and have some alone time, like me,
Mhm.
after you've been in a crowd.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Yes, I can relate to that. Sometimes it's absolutely overwhelming.
Yes.
Right. You have a hard time not caring. So even though you might not want to care in a situation, it kind of, you can't help it.
It's part of service. I'm here to serve. And that's my life, to
Mhm.
be of service.
Right.
And I teach people the vibration of love. So
yes,
that's all
I love
about
that.
service.
I love that about you. And then people tend to tell you their problems.
Oh, yes, that's so true.
Hmm. I can't
I'm
go
a free
anywhere.
therapist to all my
Right.
friends.
Well, I can't go anywhere without people telling me their problems. I could be
Right.
on a train going anywhere, and someone is going to sit next to me and tell me all of their problems, and I will try to help them.
Yes, and me too. And the best thing to do is just listen and sense where they're coming from and
Mhm.
give them lots of love.
Right. But sometimes that can be overwhelming too.
Yes.
Sometimes, you get on the bus, you just want to take a bus ride, right?
It's so
But-
true. Want to read a book.
Right. But it rarely goes that way.
Right.
Yeah. So how did you know that you were an empath? What did it happen when you were very young, or?
Well, I was really sensitive when I was young. I thought that it was my fault that people argued, when I was around them.
Mm-hmm.
So like my brother, and his
Mhm.
wife would argue and I'd cry because I thought it
Aw.
was me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't really realize that it was being an empath until probably in the 80s.
Okay.
Now, for me, I'm older than,
You're
I'm a
not.
few years older
To me, you
than
look like
40.
you're like 25.
I,
So
I know. So in the 80s, I started sensing more energy around me.
Mhm.
And lately, in the last 10 years, working with the vibration of the tuning forks that I use,
Mhm.
my abilities have amplified.
Wow. Let's talk for a moment about the tuning forks, because for those of you listening on radio, you can't see that she's got tuning forks next to her.
Well,
So,
I've got a couple frequencies next to me.
Uh-huh.
The other tuning forks I'll bring in later if we have time.
Okay.
But yeah.
so how are these used as a healing tool? And as an empath, are you really tuned into that sound? Tell me about that.
Yes. With the tuning forks, the vibration of the tuning forks that I use are solfeggio frequencies, and those solfeggio frequencies are based on the scale like Gregorian chants.
We have been talking about tuning forks and being an empath, and you just took out your set of tuning forks.
And I have them right here.
Yes.
Here's my set of tuning forks. Here they are. They're the solfeggio frequencies, which are based on the building blocks of sacred geometry and like Gregorian chants.
Okay.
They have a nice sound. Just to let you hear one of the tuning forks.
Yes.
This is the love frequency tuning fork.
Ooh.
And this tuning fork is called the love frequency tuning fork because it works on the DNA and RNA level. And the way the tuning forks work is start with the root tuning fork,
Mhm.
base of the spine. And this tuning fork, like if I put it over near Zoe,
Mhm.
Zoe's root, it would turn
Oh,
with
okay.
her energy.
Oh, I see.
And what it's doing is it's clearing the energy. So if it goes in reverse, it's clearing the energy that's stuck emotions in that energy center. If I put it over a acupressure point,
Mhm.
like your shoulder, Wendy, because a lot of people hold a lot of tension in their shoulders,
Mhm.
feeling like the weight of the world's on your shoulder, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. If you put it on that shoulder, then it will move in all different directions and it will pick up the energy from not only the past, this lifetime. If you believe in other lifetimes, it will pick up the past life
Anything
energy
you're
as
carrying,
well.
right? from
Yeah, and I'll
previous
hear
lives.
things as I'm using the tuning forks. I might hear a message come through,
Mhm.
like, oh, or I might see something like an
Sure.
event that happened in your childhood. Like one time I had a situation where I was going through a field
Mhm.
and I tripped over a pipe in the field,
Oh, goodness.
and that energy
Uh-huh.
and that memory was still stuck in my abdomen.
Wow.
So that tuning fork would draw that
that out.
out,
Mhm.
undo that energy,
Mhm.
and then I would fill that energy with a little tuning fork, the body tuner, which works on here. Feel this,
All right.
like a little buzz.
Nice. I can
That
feel it.
little buzz, you feel that energy
Mhm.
with the sound of your voice, just like Ari singing. The sound of your voice doing an affirmation shifts the energy on the cellular level.
So, how, if someone is an empath and they're struggling with boundaries and they're struggling with taking on other people's energies, are the tuning forks one way to help
The tuning
help
forks,
someone?
the tuning forks are definitely a good answer for people who are struggling, because when people come into my office, they typically are operating on a survival level.
Mm.
And when you work with the tuning forks, what you're doing is you're undoing all those emotional blockages, because we're sensitive. All humans are sensitive, and we have a lot of emotions that we start absorbing the moment we're born.
Hmm.
Because we come into a family with traditions, beliefs, and emotions, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, and all those
Yes, yes.
and those are lodged on the cellular level in our bodies.
Well, and that's why when people talk about generational healing,
Yes,
it's so important to delve into that, because we are carrying our ancestors, the weight of our ancestors.
we are, and
Mhm.
we can carry less of that weight. In fact, once we have the energy cleared, like we start with the root and then we go up our
Yes.
spine and clear each of the energy centers
Mhm.
and fill them with new affirmations, new messages on the cellular level. Once you do that, you have more energy to operate so that you can fulfill your dreams. You can
Beautiful.
have more clarity. You
Mhm.
can move in life a lot easier
Right.
and more
So-
prosperously.
So, Zoe, is that something you can relate to, that generational healing that needs to happen?
I'm not sure. Maybe we'll delve into that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So what are some other ways that we can protect ourselves? Because Zoe was talking about her immense sensitivity earlier.
Yes.
And I have it too. We all do. Everyone in this room, I think.
Yes.
Um,
And I'll give you 5 things that we can do.
Okay.
First of all, when you're in a situation that is difficult to handle,
Hmm.
stop, breathe.
Very good advice. Very good
Start
advice.
breathing, because the
Mhm.
first thing we do when we're tense and we're in panic
Right.
or emotional is we stop breathing.
Right. We hold our breath.
We hold our breath.
And the fact is that keeps us in that fight or flight, or makes it worse,
Or freeze mode.
or
Yeah.
freeze,
Yeah.
right? Whereas with some deep breathing and movement of the air, we can go into
Yes.
that refresh and relax mode.
Yes, refresh and relax mode. I love that.
Yes.
And then I believe number 2,
Hmm.
you bring in light. And how do you bring in light? You visualize the light coming in over your body, washing your body. You can do it like visualizing an egg shape coming in on
Mhm.
all different directions of your body to seal your body of that energy.
Nice.
You can use the zip up message, or the zip up method,
Oh, right.
where you're taking the energy from your perineum, your pelvis area, and zipping it up and turning the key under your bottom lip.
So when you're saying zip up, you're saying basically protect yourself.
You're protecting yourself by zipping up your energy, zipping up your aura.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
and they do it in the
breathe,
back.
Breathe, bring in some light, and
Yes.
then
Ground
zip up.
yourself.
Oh, and ground yourself.
3, ground yourself.
Okay.
Be grounded. Feel the earth beneath your feet, or
Mhm.
feel the earth like mud, like you're sinking into the earth, or you have
Mhm.
lines or roots going deep into the earth.
I love that.
Number
Mhm.
4, you can either return the energy to the person, place.
Oh.
You can return it by sweeping it off, whatever.
Oh, Zoe, sweep it off.
Sweep it off. And you know what happened to me yesterday? Yesterday, I'm in a restaurant and I feel my ears are filling with water. It's like, why do my ears feel like they have water in them?
Uh-huh.
I text a friend. I go, you said you were going to go swimming in the ocean, right?
Mhm.
How are your ears? She said, my ears are fine, but when I jump in the water, I get my water in my ears. So I
Oh.
was picking up on her jumping in the water
Oh, okay.
from
All right.
long
At
distance.
least you knew where it was coming
I knew
from.
where it was coming from. I think I do.
Did you sweep it off?
I cleared it.
Okay.
Yes, so you could
Nice.
do that.
Mhm.
And the other thing that you can do is you can send loving energy to the situation or to the person.
Mhm.
And there's a couple ways of doing that. One is, heart math. Are you familiar with heart math?
I am not.
Heart coherence.
No.
Well, I invite your audience and you and Zoe and Ari to think of someone you really appreciate and love, or
Mhm.
think of a pet. I think of my pet Emma. I love Emma. I love, and all the different ways that you love that person
Mhm. Or the pet, right?
or that pet.
My lovely Mary Jane, who
Your
I
loving
miss
Mary Jane.
so much. Yes.
Yes, and all the things you love playing. I love playing ball with Emma. I love the hugs she gives me. And as you're thinking of that, your vibration is increasing, and that vibrational love you bring in, you feel it inside your own heart and send it through your own body.
Mm.
And you can also send it to the situation or the person that you're having an issue with. If you have like an argument with somebody,
Mm-hmm. Send them
love and
love.
and send the energy ahead of yourself for a solution when you return to the person.
What great tools. I love it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little more about the Divine Paradigm Center.
Well, I want to tell you, well, the Divine Paradigm Center is a place that people can come to. It's a sacred space.
Mhm.
That's what it is. I have my practice there. We have an herbologist, somebody that does aura fusions
Mhm.
with psychotherapy. I have a Shiatsu practitioner, Reiki practitioner there. And we have the chakra shine up class.
That's what I
which
was
is
thinking of
brighten
when
up your chakras.
chakra shine up.
So
I love it.
a lot of my clients continue after they go through my series, they continue their practice with chakra shine up. And
Mhm.
chakra shine up consists of me using the tuning forks, teaching you how to tone, because the sound of your voice helps raise your vibration too.
Mhm.
And so we do all kinds of toning with people, and tapping meridian points,
Nice.
because that will help
Mhm.
reduce inflammation. That will help reduce the emotional blockages causing your stuck energy and inflammation.
Right. So if someone is an empath and they kind of don't have a community of empaths,
Yeah.
it sounds like the center would be a great place to connect.
Yes. And let me tell you that an empath is hypersensitive to energy.
Mm-hmm.
20% of Americans are empaths.
20%?
20%.
That seems
However,
really high to me.
Ha-
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of
At least
empaths,
20%.
but like you said, we're kind of attracted to each other.
Yeah.
You know, so that seems so high to me.
Yes.
Wow.
But the other statistic is, you know, that 70% of Americans are on either a medication for hypertension,
Mhm.
pain, or mental
Oh,
condition.
yes, I know all about that.
No
Yes.
wonder people use alternative ways of healing
Mhm.
and feeling balance.
Do you think that the pharmaceuticals can kind of interrupt, you know, because like plant medicine, I feel like works with us, you know, cannabis works with us and balances.
It's harmonious because it's natural.
Well, we've got to wrap it up. This went by so quickly. Zophia, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. And Christina, thank you so much. How can people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me from just go online, divineparadigmcenter.com, and I'll give you a free consultation,
Oh,
15-minute
wonderful.
consultation, and we can talk more about being an empath
I
if
love
you feel
that.
like you are. Yeah.
This has been The Edge Show live on Unity Radio. Thanks for joining us. The Edge Show is sponsored in part by
Taproot Treasures,
131 Inclusion Gallery, Irie Bliss Wellness, Lindsay Camp with Synergy One Lending.